name is Cecilie and welcome to another tutorial from Who Can Become a Producer. These tutorials are powered by ABF. Thank you so much for helping us out. Today I'll be talking about how to record audio and MIDI in Ableton. So here is my very basic setup, which is my microcorg and my mic. And I plugged my mic into input 1 in my interface, and my microcorg goes from MIDI out to MIDI in my interface. And that's because I'll be using this as a MIDI keyboard for this tutorial. So in Ableton, I opened up a project which I'll be using to demonstrate. First off, I want to make an audio track, so I right click and select Insert Audio Track, and a MIDI track, Insert MIDI Track. So I want to rename this to mic and this to microcorg. Okay, so for my audio track, I have to make sure that the input channel is set to the same as the one in my interface, which is channel 1. And for my MIDI track, I have to make sure that it says all ins here for my MIDI keyboard to be able to control the sound. Also, I want to make sure that there's actually some sound to control, because right now this track is empty. So I go into this track, which is a sound I made from an old clarinet sample. I just have to click on so you can hear it, which is actually a little part of a very long sample. And then a bunch of effects. So I'll just select all of these and paste them into my MIDI track. Okay, so now I'll be able to control this sound using my MIDI keyboard. And you can see there's 3 controls here, off, auto, and in. This controls how I want to hear my monitor. So if it's put to off, I can't hear anything. If it's set to auto, I'll only be able to hear the sound when my record button is pressed. And if it says in, I'll be able to hear it all the time. And the same for my audio track. Okay, so I think we are ready to record some. I just made sure that my track, my record button is pressed. And for this recording, I want to have my metronome on as well. Okay, so let's record some. Okay. Just want to make sure that it's tight. So I just go in here and quantize it. And then let's hear. Great. And I'll duplicate it. Okay. So next off, I want to record some vocals. And I'll just solo my audio track and my MIDI track. So let's go ahead and record some. So I feel it cut from my skin, numbing frozen, and your smile so unreal, unreal. This fixation hurts like hell, and our conversation is so fucked up and unreal, unreal. Okay, so let's have a listen. So I feel it cut from my skin, numbing frozen, and your smile so unreal, unreal. This fixation. Okay, so that's good enough. Last thing I want to talk a bit about is latency, because a lot of the time when you record vocals especially, you'll experience latency, which can be very frustrating because it's very difficult to sing if there's a delay in what comes out of your mouth and what you hear. So a way to try and avoid latency is to go in to your preference settings and try and shorten your buffer size. And the higher the buffer size you have, the longer the latency you'll have. So if you have a buffer size of 2048, you might get longer latency. So you want to try and get your buffer size as low as you can without it affecting the sound quality. Because if you choose too low of a buffer size, you'll start hearing that the sounds start lagging. So it's all about trying to find that sweet spot in between where it doesn't affect the sound quality, but you'll still be able to not stumble over your words when trying to record audio. So I guess actually that's all I want to talk about today. So to end with, let's have a listen at the whole thing. So I feel it cut from my skin, numbing frozen, and your smile so unreal, unreal. This fixation hurts like hell, and our conversation is so fucked up and unreal, unreal. So that's all from me. Thank you so much for listening and see you next week.